What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Grass. His opponent today, in the blue color, playing as Set. His name is the Rapl. Game number 5. This one's for all the marbles. Well, at least all the marbles in getting to the next round. Yay, marbles. All right. So, what have we got here? Set versus Oranos, game 5. I love this matchup. Personally, I love this matchup as the Set player. I got beaten up quite a bit in tournament, and I went in and I studied a little bit. I was thinking, I was theory crafting, coming up with strategies, and I feel like at this point now with Set, I've got, personally, I think there's around about 2 or 3 different strategies you can execute and find a really, really good game against an Oranos player. 2 or 3, that's quite a few, as opposed to certain other civilizations where it's like there's only one way to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the certain things. So Set's got a whole bag of tricks he can use to find some advantage. I'm going to start talking about those a little bit later, but let's take a look at the map here for Grass so we can have some sort of a understanding of how this game is going to go. So we've got the gold mine on the front here, so he's got to be concerned about this. This is a weak gold mine here that Rapl could abuse early game. There's lots of cheese strategies which can make life very, very tough here for Grass. One thing that I think that Set players might want to consider doing if they're going to be going for certain cheese plays is actually using vision on their opponent's base early to see where their gold mine is. Because then you can send your Pharaoh Priest forward, not use shifting sands on that, and then harass that gold mine, scanning around the rest of the map to try and find where other gold mines are as well. And you could potentially go for a super early pressure onto Oranos and they're not able to kind of defend against it. It depends on how well they play. But you can find that advantage and choose to do those cheeses with Set if you have that sort of intention in mind. Now, okay, so we've seen this map. We can see that the gold mines are kind of exposed. Life could be a little bit challenging here for some sort of a timing attack to come through for Rapl. Now, Rapl, on the other hand, he's got a beautiful gold mine. Tower in front of gold mine, forest here, tower here. This is as good as it gets. Great temple placement here for Rapl as well. Monument up, temple coming down. I think this is a touch late for a 430, so we might want to put a second villager onto it. I believe it takes about 40 seconds, and he threw it down a little bit after 240. Wait, is that? No, it should be fine. It should be fine. 250. If you get it down before 250, I think it's fine. Though I'm not 100% sure. I need to do some actual math on how long it takes a temple to come up, because it doesn't tell me the build points here or whatever it is. I don't know. I have to actually look it up. Anyways. Rapl here, 430 advancing to a second town center. Beautiful gold mine over here, for example. So there is going to be a really, really nice second town center for Rapl. Set is a god that really should not care about whether or not the town center has got hunt on it or not, because he does have animal conversions here. He can convert these aurochs on this position. Where's the priest? Did the priest get? Did we lose the priest? Oh, the priest is here. So the priest is converting some aurochs over here. So there shouldn't be a problem for Rapl if he goes to town centers for food. And he can choose to do that. So I think this map here, perfect to go for a second town center. This is a really, really nice map. Back, safe gold mine here. Rapl's going to be happy about that one. You'd have to assume, but he is making priests here. And I'm not sure if he's going to be trying to convert animals or going for a rush or what with this early secondary priest, but 9 villagers on the gold. Looks like he's going to be going for that one as the oracle's getting pushed back. Lots of villagers on this front position there with the mana already up, and we'll see what Grass is going to be able to do here. I will say that there is a pretty big cheese you can do with Set. If you go for a classical fight and you know your opponent's on this secondary hunt, you can actually advance at 348 or advance at 402, shifting sands, some villagers on this position to kill the mana, take the aurochs, go for a classical fight here, pushing 3 citizens off of this position, potentially even killing 3 citizens here with a whole bunch of priests, animals of Set, Pharaoh. Really caused a lot of problems for the Oranos player early. But obviously we're not seeing that here for Rapl. Rapl now moving up on to grab this town center. He's already spent the resources. Villagers going to be eating these Aurochs here nice and early. Military barracks, counter barracks coming through for grass. And we'll see what sort of a defense here Rappl's going to do. There's two options. So option number one is you just sit underneath your town center, you eat your animals of Set, you produce animals of Set, you eat your converted Aurochs, and you just rush the heroic age. Option number two is you build barrackses and you build slingers, you build some stuff where that's concerned. As the Prometheans here, not going to be making it through here all too easily, it seems. One does make it through as the town center gets spotted going up here. We see some units coming out. How many units here is Grass going to build is the question. Oranos is relatively aggressive, but he is capable of throwing some town centers down and deciding what he wants to do. As the town center now down for Rapl. Villagers looking like they're going over to wood. Nope, looks like they're just going to eat these Aurochs here and see how things are going to go. Do we see an armory coming up anywhere in the main base? No. So I imagine we're going to be seeing a barracks getting thrown down relatively soon here for Rapl, as the hero units coming through this army really don't want to fight hero units with animals of Set, with Wadjet and things like that. Just bring the villagers underneath the town center there would be completely fine. And just one, you get the villagers under the town center with the Pharaoh empowering, but two, they're nice and safe, right? So we just see a cheeky little shockwave there going to be hitting that Wadjet as the villagers going to be retreating away. Unfortunately, a Wadjet will get taken out. Decent usage of the shockwave there. A couple of villagers getting a little bit distracted as they pull back over onto this position. And still Rapl no barracks just yet, so no armory either. And we'll see what Rappl's going to do. Pygmalion statue coming through here as well, picked up. That's a big, big relic there for Rapl, as this Auroch getting caught out of position. I'd love to see him retreat that one around and see if he can get that back to the town center to be nice and safe. It looks like Rapple's only built himself one monument at the moment, so that is a little bit of a worry, but a couple of balls getting converted there. And the Auroch, 17 HP. 11 HP. You have to delete it. You have to delete it. Oh, it's okay. It's alive. 5 HP and alive here. No problems where that's concerned. Still no armory for Rapl. It looks like he's going for a fast heroic, and it looks like Oranos Grass is going for a full send in the classical age thus far. He is not playing this one defensively at all, as he does see the main base here. Losing this position shouldn't matter to Rapl. He's got a great gold mine over here with that town center. A couple of walls. He will be able to throw up a Migdol there and be fine. Okay, now some barracks coming down for Rapl. Super late here as he sees exactly what's coming for Grass. Another barracks coming down on this position here. This is not really what I would like to see. If you're going to go for a classical fight, you've got to be building those buildings up much, much earlier than this. Lots of gold spent as Rapl is very much panicking here to this aggression, as the Oranos Mamilo are going to be tearing down this watchtower here as well. And the units breaking through. Not enough defenses on that tower there for Rapl. No wall segments around it. Just a handful of houses is not enough. Plus the Prometheans coming through. Pharaoh on this position, kind of caught out of position, but he does manage to snipe down that Mamilo. But the Terma pushing forward as the Pharaoh retreats back. A couple of units now coming out. Spearman going to be able to get some good damage done onto those Terma as the villagers get pushed off of this gold mine. Rapl shouldn't care about this. As I said, he's got gold over here that is completely fine. Plus he can eat these Aurochs while all the army is pushing off of this position. But you also have to remember, Rapl has 2 town centers here, so that's also completely fine. Has a bunch of priests out to deal with these Prometheans nicely. Has to keep in mind that his Pharaoh is very, very important. Plus, the priests are very, very important there as well. Auroch gets sniped down there. Going to be able to take that one away. Need to be making some axemen here to deal with those Murmillo that are coming through. Just spearmen to deal with those Terma. Probably less important there, if you ask me, to deal with those Terma as it is to deal with the Murmillo. But houses going down there as well. Rapl can now start building himself some slingers if he so chooses. Get a whole bunch of villagers onto wood. Would not go astray. And we do see the villagers now jumping in onto this position. A monument to the soldiers is still missing. So, I mean, making some Wadgets here is a really, really big ability to defend. Wadget, Spearman, great way to defend against this sort of a classical push here from Grass. Pharaoh almost getting sniped down. You've got to heal that Pharaoh back up here. Really, really important for Set not to lose the Pharaoh. It's huge for the economy. Medium Spearman coming through as well for Rapl. Still no still no slingers coming out. Maybe he's a little bit concerned about a heroic age from grass going into Contarius or something like that. So he wants to preemptively prepare for that one. But either way, I mean, yeah, I guess you have to still deal with those Murmillo as the priests taking out some of these units. 1 barracks going down, but still 3 barracks are up or 2 barracks are up for Rapl, so it's not the biggest of deals where that's concerned. Thank you for the 14 months out of rain. Appreciate you for the consistent support, my friend, as Rapl now also looking like he wants to go to the next stage. He does have an armory up after all. Grass here, not with enough gold, but Rapl looks like he will be able to hit that heroic age here after all is said and done. As the army of grass coming through onto this position, I wouldn't hate to see a shifting sands being used on these villages to come back over to the other side as the army decides to take this fight. These villages over here getting caught out. Rapl has clicked up through Neph series in a bit of a problem. He does have a good retreat path with these units. The Wadger's going to get a good amount of damage done. Rapl needs to get more units produced here. He's making some axes now. This is going to be a big help for him as he pulls back onto this position. We do see the Valor coming through. Rapl distracting nicely here as these villagers are getting a lot of gold out on this position. Again, shifting sands is remaining here, and using shifting sands to move those villagers away here is going to be a really good move onto this gold mine, keeping them away from these units here. We'll see if that's what Rappl's going to do. He does decide to turn around and take this fight. He can't be doing this as there's too much damage that's coming through as the priests get some damage done to the Prometheans. The villagers do push away. He only really loses 1 villager, so this is actually completely fine. I'm wrong with that call, but the villagers need to stop chasing here, get back onto the gold mine, get that Migdol stronghold up as fast as possible. A couple of houses are missing as well as units pushing into the main base. Town center getting some good damage done there. Over here, we do see some more units pushing through as the army of Rapl getting shockwaved onto this position. Do you click Ancestors straight away is the big question here. Migdol Stronghold can get thrown up there by Rapl on that position as he does decide to do that as the army over here does get cleaned up. The red units in the main base getting cleaned up as well. Rapl is in a fantastic position moving forward here in this game. Grass is going to be going to the next age. I want to see Rapl focus on the Mythic age here, get himself monuments, and start looking towards making rhinos. He does not need to be concerned with anything other than getting to the Mythic age at this point, using Ancestors to defend himself, or saving Ancestors if he possibly can to defeat that Tartarian gate is a really good way to play in this position. But Rapl is in a fantastic spot right now. Hyperion coming through, 2 town center Rapl, 58 villages, lots of gold in the bank, lots of gold mines in the bank. Wouldn't mind seeing a wall getting thrown up here. Villagers finishing up on this position. We do have Giraffe of set. Farms coming through. No, you can't be building farms as set. It's not important. Okay, fine. Whatever. Villagers onto the gold at the moment. Medium infantry coming through for Grass. 88 population here for Grass. 110 for Rapl. Still needs some houses up. He's missed those. Market coming down. Rapl might buy his way to the Mythic age here, but he doesn't really need to. He's got Giraffes of set that he can eat. He's got Crocodiles of set. He can build Giraffes of set as well. Scorpion Man does get caught out on this position. Turns around, going to get a little bit of damage done onto the army before finishing itself up as the house is going to be coming down now as well. There for Rapl, and he's just sitting back at the moment. Do we see a fast Mythic here coming out after all of this for Grass? Lots of wood in the bank. Might be considering double town centers or something like that as balls getting converted over here behind enemy lines. And we do see the villagers now starting to push forward. Rapl might want to put a Migdol stronghold down here as well, actually, so he can eat these Aurochs. Not a bad idea. What are these citizens doing this far forward here? How has Rapl not seen this? He doesn't see it. He doesn't see that there's no villagers there, as the priest does get spotted there. Villager going to be getting this town center up, and a little bit of calm before the storm here coming through as Grass is deciding what his next port of call is in this game. Obviously, Rapl got to be happy about the position he's in, but still needs to be concerned. He's throwing farms down. He's got himself Shadoof there, so Shadoof getting those farms a little bit cheaper as the siege works coming up on this position. I've been thinking about this Shadoof upgrade a little bit. A lot of people are concerned with Shadoof. I actually don't think it's that useful. That's my with the exception of like really early Shadoof grabs. I don't think it's that useful. What are you going to build, like 20 farms over the course of a game? You're saving what is it? 23 gold a farm. 20 farms, 400 gold, 400 and something gold. Obviously, it's not a bad thing, but 400 gold isn't that much at this point in the game, right? Look at the gold that Rapl's got. Chariot Archer's getting caught out there. This is what Grass needs. He needs these little kills. Rapl doesn't need to do anything. This is the thing. Rapl is completely fine in this game. He doesn't need to do anything. He just needs to sit here and get Mythic Age. If he gets Mythic Age with enough monuments to make Rhinos, there's like almost nothing that Grass can do late game against Set, who has gotten like a strong economy. Like, that's just kind of how it works. As the food income still coming through, Rapl retreating away. The problem that I'm seeing here is just still no monuments up for Rapl as the army coming in to put some pressure. Horus now clicked up as the army pulls away. Pharaoh 1 HP manages to stay alive here as the army all pulling back. And Rapl here going to continue building himself those spearmen. There's some archers coming through here. Grass here, 3 town centers. He's gotten a big boom started. This army, not the best at dealing with this. It might be worth dropping that Ancestors here to push back, but just not taking the fight as well is completely fine. There is Hyperion available here for Rapl, so he's got to be careful about the Avenger. For me, it's completely worth it to just delete that Avenger just because it's so hard to deal with. So just don't use it. Just delete it and call it a day unless the curse gets used. And then you can have the Avenger for a little bit, have that timing in the back of your head. What does it take? 240 seconds to come back. So when it gets used, take the look at the timer, maybe even write that in chat for yourself. Pretend like you're playing League of Legends a bit on that one. As the army pushing in on this position here, villagers garrisoning away. We do see the army pushing forward. We've got a couple of priests here that can deal with that Satyr decently, as a handful of spearmen pushing across the map to potentially drop a tornado down on this position. I don't mind that immediate use, as the villagers sneaking onto this town center here. Grass should immediately see this, and it looks like he does see it. He's going to be splitting his Contarius off, moving on to this position. The army of Rapl needs to get going over here and defend this one. The villagers probably also should just leave here. At this point, he's not going to really get that town center up. Well, maybe he will if he can get over there, as the tornado going to immediately get dropped down onto this position here. Another option here for Rapl would be to stay 2 town centers and go straight for the Mythic Age, as the Avenger comes through and immediate Hyperion is going to get dropped down here. Surely that's what happens, as maybe not. I mean, the Avenger getting value here, in all honesty. A couple of spearmen coming over onto this position as well, as the chaos gets closer and closer to being a useful thing. Ancestors getting dropped down. Avenger 52 HP gets a whole bunch of value where that's concerned. Villagers going to be getting taken down. I don't like that Ancestors use at all in this matchup. You don't need to get the damage done onto Grass's economy here. You just need to be making yourself Rhinos of Set, but also no Feral through for Rapl at this point. Siege Tower comes through. Avengers are getting created here for Rapl. I'm not a fan of building those. Like, against Hyperion, I don't think it works. But we do see some good raids coming in onto these villagers over here. Might be able to get a villager kill or 2. Still spearmen against these Arcus. They're actually not the worst unit here against the Arcus. 87 HP, 8.4 damage, 20% pierce armor versus 72 HP, 15% hack armor, 7.2 damage. In fact, they're basically dealing a very similar amount of damage to each other. It's just that the Arcus get range damage done. But Grass at this point is in a defensive position. Shifting Sands onto the palace here, as the army here coming through. Lots of units on the defense over here. This is maybe a little bit overzealous here from Rapl, as he will be able to kill off the palace here. Rapl going for the jugular at this point. This is not a necessity at this point for Rapl. He picks off the palace. The army coming back here. This is always going to be something that is possible for the Rapl game plan here, but a much better usage of Shifting Sands in this matchup is just to kill off your opponent's Titan Gate. But we see the marker coming up for Rapl. He's got his town center. He's at full population. in terms of villages, almost full population in terms of everything else. Chaos does get utilized onto the Avenger here. That's going to get some good damage done, but with those Chariot Archers and everything else, the Rhino tanking for the time being, Avenger will get taken out here, it seems. Town Center coming back up on this position. Send the Spearman in there would be a really, really nice play, stopping that Town Center from going up, instead of going for these gold mines and keeping grass on 2 town centers here for as long as possible, as the Siege Tower now, the unit here that gets tanked up, and the Avenger will end up getting killed off on this position as well. Now we see some destroyers coming in. The hardest part for, I guess, Egyptian versus Atlantean in terms of these kind of mid-game to mid-late game fights is dealing with Arcus destroyers, because you need axemen to kill off the destroyers, and you need Chariot Archers to kill off the Arcus or slingers. But a really, really easy counter to this composition is Siege Towers. Mass Siege Towers is so good against this composition, and we'll see if Rapl is aware of this or not at this point. As we do see the Pharaoh coming in, how many monuments are up now? We've got 2 monuments for Rapl. He really needs to be getting more of those out and making these animals of set. Hecate now clicked for grass. He does still have this Oracle on this position, so he can immediately drop that Tartarian Gate on this Migdol Stronghold and cause some gold problems for Rapl here. Rapl doesn't have the Ancestors to deal with it, doesn't have Tornado to deal with it, doesn't have Shifting Sands to deal with it. As the Rhinos of Set starting to come out here, you've got to be careful where you place the Pharaoh, though, as he takes a bit of a smattering of arrows there, down to 1 HP. In fact, down to dead there, as the unit's pulling back. Does he have Feral? Still no Feral on the Rhinos. Not that it is a bit of a big deal, as we do see a random barracks coming up for Rapl. I like that play. A couple of units coming through here for grass, going to be causing some problems for Rapl in this game. As the army sitting, waiting, watching, as Hecate coming through. Rapple's got himself some stuff, some camel caravans being made here. There's the army coming through. These Satyr, they're pretty strong. They can basically take out the animals of set pretty quickly here. Rapl is mostly Chariot Archers at the moment. Catapults coming out for Rapl. I think he's kind of misplaying this part of the game. Siege Towers would be vitally important here. Catapults, not that important at this point. You can build catapults when you're safe, when you've but 400 resources for a catapult that basically dies to Toxotes here. Not going to be the best of units where that's concerned, as we do see some cheeky raids hitting the trade route of Rapl. No walls up just yet here, as the army now starting to push through onto this town center. Chariot Archers trying to defend here for Rapl. Not sure what's happened to his economy after all is said and done. He's still at 80 villages. He is building these camel caravans just one at a time. Tartarian Gate getting thrown down over here. Rapl, you've got to basically just take all these villages and right-click on this one. Do we see a Masons? No Masons, no Architects where that's concerned. Chariot Archers getting a little bit caught out there. Good micro from grass, as Rapl not paying attention where that's concerned. Villagers coming through to shank this one down. Are 20 villagers enough? We see the priests coming back here as well. There's a catapult here. This is great for Rapl. He will be able to finish this one off. The Pharaoh popping out as well, going to be able to make himself some Rhinos of Set where that's concerned as well. Villagers getting pushed off of this location here. Rapl not really taking a whole lot of damage from this Tartarian Gate. You would have to assume, as the catapult cleans up the Tartarian Gate with the help of those villagers will get back to work. Rapl going to be okay here. You'd have to expect he's still got this gold mine on this position. This gold mine over here might not go the wayside of Rapl, but if you can control this market, keep this town center alive, he should be okay here. As the Tartarian spawn gets taken out, units now pushing forward. Rhinos are second to come in to help bolster the army here. But the timing push, so to speak, here from grass has hit, and it looks like the town center here for Rapl is going to be going down. And what can Rapl do now if he loses this town center? He can push back. It's always possible from these sorts of positions as the kind of fully popped up economic powerhouse is set. You've just got to be hitting villages all over the place. We see some spearman raids coming through over here, but the town center does end up falling. As the Pharaoh producing these animals of set, still no Feral onto these set animals here. They're not getting as much value as possible. In fact, right now, Rapl shouldn't be building Rhinos of Set. He should be building Hippos of Set. One population unit. If you've got a full population army, Rhinos are set are not the way to go. If you've got not a full population army, then Rhinos are set are the way to go. Having like, four... There are only 2 population, so not 4 population. There are only 2 population, but Hippos have set 1 population, a little bit more useful in these sorts of situations. As you can have a couple more of them. Obviously, if you don't have the favor for it, maybe the Rhinos are better as well. I'm not 100% sure, but Rapl not able to win these fights thus far as the town center is coming up here. Rapl here, he's kind of stabilized after the Tartarian gate to some degree, but he's not building the right units here to beat this army. Okay, so Fire Siphon gets beaten by Siege Tower. Arcus get beaten by Siege Tower. Destroyer get beaten by Siege Tower. You've got to be building Siege Towers here after all is said and done. Obviously, then Grass could then build Catapultes. He could then build Murmillo. He could then build Contarius. But once you start forcing the Atlantean player to not go Destroyer Arcus, then you can build Chariot Archers. Then you can build Spearmen, and then you can win these fights. There's a temple coming up over here. Still a little bit of gold left in this gold mine. Rapl. This is the problem for Rapl. This is why his economy is struggling so hard. It's because he doesn't have pickaxe, doesn't have shaft mine, doesn't have any upgrades. He's only got hand axe. He's got himself flood control, but no pickaxe, ladies and gentlemen. That's a huge, huge blunder there from Rapl after all is said and done. As the wall's coming up over here to defend the trade route as best as he can. The Grass now, 4 town centers. The problem for Grass, and this is something to keep in the back of your mind, as the 2 town center player against the 4 town center player against Atlantean, is that Oranos and Atlantean in general, maybe Gaia is a little bit of a different situation there, but probably not actually. But Atlantean in general cannot afford to spam off of 4 town centers. They can't trade off of 4 town centers. Why? Because they've only got 25 citizens total after all is said and done. So if you can cut their trade route, if you can cut and harass their economy while getting good trades, then you can win. But if you let the Atlantean player get up to 180 population, like is happening here for Rapl, he's sitting 140 population. This is really, really not what he wants. But if you let that happen, life gets really tough. Now, a Catapult over here can take out this fortified town center as well. It looks like a Sky Pass is coming up here. Grass needs to start a trade route yesterday. Otherwise, he's going to be in a very, very tough position to deal with stuff here. But we do see the army kind of grouping up as Grass is just trying to get himself to that population here. If Rapl can kind of trade well here, he's going to be in a nice position. But the Sky Passage up here protects this gold mine. He can push in onto this position as well, which is exactly what it looks like Grass wants to do. But Grass is neglecting the fact that there's this trade route over here. He does break down the wall with the Fire Siphon, but units popping up onto this position now. Going to be coming in to take out the Migdol over here. Champion Chariots is through for Rapl at this position for the time being. But the army going to be breaking through here. Gold going to be getting pushed off. There's not a whole lot of gold here, but it is a big deal for gold mines to be secured here for Rapl. And Grass knows this as he breaks through here. And Camel Caravan's getting taken down on this position as well. And you basically just need this wall should not have been made a gate, but a hill fort here, or a Migdol stronghold, excuse me, would be a really good way to defend on that position, but not happening just yet as the army breaking through on this position. Such a huge army here for Grass at this point. It's now the Migdol stronghold. Looks like it is in a bit of a difficult position. Axemen here not able to push in and take out these heavy Murmillo of Grass and Groom either, as what was that? I'm not sure exactly what that God power usage was, but we see the army getting pushed back. Villagers pushed off of the gold mine here. Camel Caravans at 15 at the moment as the champion Arc is pushing forward. We'll be able to take out the Pharaoh here, and Rapl is in a very, very difficult position. No gold income, 2 to 4 town centers. Catapult coming in on this position, though, to take out this town center is going to be good with the Chariot Archers coming through. Another Catapult coming in here. Chariot Archer is going to try and surround this position to defend here as well. But while this is going on, the market getting taken out, Rappel's going to have to go for a market over here to keep himself going in this game. Go full chemo style Chemo Market and all the other good stuff. But the grass units pushing in onto this town center as well, going to attempt to take that one out. Town center here for grass. Looks like it's going down with the catapults here, not able to get targeted down just yet. The town center getting repaired by 2 citizens here. Does not look like it's quite going to be enough at the moment here. One more catapult coming in at this point does take out the town center where that's concerned, as the axemen coming through here. Chariot archers going to be doing what they can to pick off those remaining units, but Rapl is kind of giving himself some sort of a possibility here. We see the market up on this position here so that the trade route can continue. But meanwhile, up here, the camel caravan's getting taken down. Rapl is down to 10 camel caravans at this point, as the siege towers pushing through over here to try and deal with some stuff. Finally, siege towers coming up for Rapl as he kind of works out that it's a good way to go. But Grass is pushed back here. He's lost the town center. He's able to get the town center back straight away. And he's done a whole bunch of damage to this trade of Rapl. Rapl needs to be building himself villages yet again. He is trying to out of one town center for the time being. But he needs that trade route again as the siege work's coming down over here. Trying to make all of these siege towers work is going to be good for Rapl. Where's the Pharaoh at the moment? Making hippos of Set would be a nice way to help out that economy here as well. Spending that favor that's in the bank. 40 for 8 favor is quite a few hippos of Set to help out on these fights as well. As Rapl now coming through, he's making rhinos of Set. He still doesn't have feral at the moment. 189 HP is not feral, so they're not getting as much value as they should. If you are unaware of what that upgrade does, it gives, I believe, HP, armor, and damage. So it's a lot of help for the Rhinos of Set. It is a bit funny when you see an upgrade giving 10% hack and 10% hack and pierce armor, because that's just straight HP. Because they've already got 99% crush armor, most of the units that get it. So it is straight HP. So it's basically like plus 20% HP and plus 10% hack armor. Oh, sorry, and 10% hack damage. This grass is pushing Rapl back yet again. I mean, there is a possibility here that Rapl could try and go for a wonder and just sit in here and try and defend for days, but still no raids onto the villages. Villages over here on this gold mine, finishing that one up. Grass is obviously moving into a position where if he gets a trade route out, then he supports this town center. This four town centers much better. Pygmalion statue still in the hands of Rapl there. I'm not sure what he's doing where that's concerned. But even with the Fire Siphon, look, the Fire Siphon really don't do like that much damage there, as the Pharaoh does get caught out. Grass knows how important that Pharaoh is, sniping that one down. Champion Chariot's getting pushed back, and Rapl just cannot hold here. He does not have enough gold. The Fire Siphon's killing off yet another market of Rapl, and donkey caravans camel caravans getting killed off here, with Grass just sitting in on this position. There's the citizen pushing forward as well to potentially drop a palace in on this position here. Villagers coming forward. I'm not sure what they're going to try and do. Maybe take out the Fire Siphon. Do we see a marker getting put down on the back corner here? No, not just yet. Palace coming up there for Grass as well. Fire Siphon getting cleaned up. No, doesn't even manage to go down as the hometown center is about to get taken out there on this gold mine, getting pushed off there as well. 1,200 gold in that gold mine as well. Not going to be able to help out all too much where that's concerned, as the Pharaoh comes back out for Rapl. Getting that. This is something I never realized, but Call of the Dead. City of the Dead? City of the Dead for the Pharaoh makes him come back out in about 40 seconds rather than 90 seconds. It's a really big upgrade for Set. Must grab. And in this position, 29 minutes, 54 seconds into the game, Rapl does have to tap out here. He was in such a good position here. He played that early game so well, but he kind of wasted Ancestors. Ancestors in this matchup, using on the Tartarian gate, when you're in a good position, is so vitally important. He could have not gone for this third town center here and gone for a Titan Gate as well, using Shifting Sands to kill off the enemy Titan Gate would have been another really good way to play it. Alternatively, Feral, Rhinos of Set here, more monuments, And I just don't see a way that Grass gets this position with Rapl just sitting back, just getting upgrades, trying to play for the late game, shifting Sands onto this position here to hit that palace, throwing away a lot of resources there when Rapl really didn't need to. He could have just gotten upgrades and been in a really good position. This game could have gone the complete other direction. Congratulations to Grass. He took the advantage where he could here, but Rapl here, unfortunately, not able to execute in this final game, and Grass gets the dub. Congratulations to Grass, goes into the next round. Unfortunately, that is the end of the tournament for Rapl. If you guys enjoyed this game, enjoyed this series, enjoying this tournament, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.